Good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's work session of February 15th. Can I have a motion to open the work session?
So moved. Okay, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the town board work session. This one with this one without the planning board. We're running a little late, but can I get a motion to open the town board work session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, take us away, Ed. Jill.
All right, I'm ready. The first thing on our agenda is evening out. They've asked for a 1-month extension. They are renting office space, unfortunately in Hawthorne, but and they'd like to stay for another month. It'll be ready as of April. Their office space will be ready April 1. So I'd like to ask the board for permission for us to extend that same terms and conditions as before. We've got a whole slew of administrative items, payment of claims, adoption of minutes. Why don't we hold
Did you
this?
guys, yeah, let's hold that to the next meeting. We redid them a bit, but I'd like everyone to read them.
Just
and
look
make
at
sure
them and
you're
just
good
let me
with
know if
them.
you have any questions. If you could for next time, just because we really like
Yes,
to get them
definitely
posted.
next time.
Okay, that'll be wonderful. Okay, let's put that on for the 8th.
Yeah.
I'll get in
Okay.
touch. Yeah.
Perfect, thank you so much. The next is the water rents list. This is something that most of this board hasn't seen before. These are delinquent water rents, water outstanding bills as of October 1st. Anything that was delinquent as of prior to October 1st. The law allows us to put delinquent water payments on tax bills. And so what we do is we send out notifications to those people with delinquent bills. We notify them that if we don't get their payment by March 1st, what we're going to do is take and put it as a line item on their tax bill. And you may see a tax bill from time to time that actually says water rents, and that's what these are. And it just gets paid with their taxes, and we're able to basically wipe our slate clean and start again. This is the preliminary list. It's within $1,000 of what was last year, so it's very consistent. We have some people that just basically do it year after year after year. There'll be a follow-up list probably next meeting that will come in a resolution. The town board will authorize us to put this as its line item on the tax bill, and it'll be paid, and that's it. Okay? All right. Any questions, you can ask me at any point on those. We are entering into an agreement with Auctions International. This is in order to sell our surplus material, our surplus vehicles and parts. We do this annually. And again, an authorization to declare some surplus vehicles. We have EV chargers that are being replaced. These are the ones at the train station. They have literally burnt out. They're being replaced. We've got brand new ones that are coming. The delivery is now March 8th. And so we tend to declare our stuff surplus before we get rid of it, and then we're allowed to dispose of it.
Can I just ask you one question with the DPW surplus, just
Sure.
in light of that last statement? Given that it's so difficult to get new vehicles, are we declaring things surplus before we have new ones?
These are, if we're declaring them surplus, we have a whole mechanic shop. It's because they
Okay.
can't.
Okay, I figured, I just wanted to confirm.
We don't, we really, we have our things for a very long time.
Vehicles or are these the containers?
Was that the containers?
One of them is for containers.
Oh, it's a 20, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't
These are
remember
the,
what they
yeah,
were for,
these,
but I wanted to just confirm.
yeah, these are
that
the
we don't-
containers. These are the ones that were in the park that they're trying to get rid of, yeah. That we just had stored in Warburg Park.
Oh, yeah,
That we're just trying to clean them up.
Just one quick question on the EV chargers.
Yes.
Just having looked through the correspondence.
Mhm.
Did we ever have there was no issue with anyone from a safety perspective, right? I mean, they posed a safety risk theoretically, but we never had an issue.
No. We've never had an issue with them. And actually, we were told they were beyond their useful life, and they're not supported by any software or anything like that, any warranty anymore. But we just left them there because we knew we were getting a whole new bank coming in, and we are like literally at the right time.
Perfect.
Yeah. We're going out to obtain bids for water treatment chemicals, which we need for the Millwood Water Treatment Plant, also water maintenance materials, so fire hydrants, every bolt, every screw that's used for a water main break, the couplings, somebody takes out a hydrant, anything like that. It's not like you just go to the hardware store and get this stuff, so we have a ready supply of all of this material. We've got authorization to approve the 2022 annual ECI increase. It's part of our contract with Suez. It's an annual increase. Next is authorization to retain professional services. This New York leak detection was purchased by Ground Penetrating Radar Systems. I sort of like New York leak detection, but anyway, it's this group goes around and actually listens for leakage in the middle of the night. They drive along very slowly on the streets, and they almost, they have this listening equipment, and they actually are able to find a surprising number of leaks, and so we're able to be proactive before you actually see stuff seeping to the surface. They can actually detect it, and we're able to go out and be very proactive on our leakage. And we've been using them for years, and they've been a tremendous find for us.
So they knocked on my door about 15 years ago and said we had a leak, and it was our responsibility because it was the
Service line.
part of our line that connected across 117 to the town line. And under the town code, that's all
Yours.
property owner
I'm
property.
so sorry. Yep.
So we had to hire a crew, close 117, break the road open.
Welcome to town.
It's really great. It's really
Sorry.
awesome. So,
Yeah, so sorry.
thank you.
Yeah.
But they do a great job, I will
They
tell you
do,
that.
it's remarkable, but they drive around in the middle of the night, so
really do.
they
Cracker
flip
Jack-
people out
Cracker
from
Jack
time to
team.
time.
It's
Yeah.
really
Cracker Jack team.
Yep, so sorry. Authorization to use town property, Wall Street Rides Far is a bike race that comes through town. They've been coming through for the past 5 or 6 years, and just a nice group. Next is authorization to award the bid for Hubbard's Cupboards. This is our Meals on Wheels provider. We had gone out to bid. And last is authorization to attend a planning conference. And that's for staff. That's already included in our operating budget, but it's just so that you guys are aware. And there's one more thing I just need to mention to you. We had a meeting today on the new MS4 regulations that are being proposed.
Yes,
They are stunning, and I don't mean it in a good way.
I know.
So, right, so you were kind enough to sign a letter that hopefully will grant us an extension from the March 7th deadline to put in comments. But the last time the state asked for comments on this was in 2017. I just want to read this to you. The MS4 operators commented on the.
Maybe just let everyone know
Oh,
what that
I'm
means
terribly
for
sorry.
us.
These are our stormwater rules and regulations, and they're rather stringent. And in 2017, there was a proposed overhaul of the MS4 permit, along with all of its regulations, that would have intensified the obligations that the town has under our stormwater permit, and put on some truly onerous, both in terms of monetary and manpower obligations for the town. And we were all disappointed to read this section of the fact sheet, which is basically that MS4 operators, which means us, commented that in the 2017 draft didn't appropriately consider resources necessary to comply with the general permit terms and conditions. According to the comments, the draft would require significant resources over and above what is feasible for municipal operations budgets. The MS4 operators also indicated much of the draft required additional efforts and personnel resources for tracking and reporting rather than the allocation of funds to stormwater management. And the groups commented that the provisions introduced in the draft must be fully implemented regardless of the necessary resources, which basically means that whether or not we have the monetary resources available, we are responsible for all of these obligations. Staff is in the midst of preparing a two-pager for you for next meeting, but basically it will obligate us to, for example, we have 2,500 catch basins in town. we're able to clean between 80 to 100 annually with one of our vac machines. It's a 8-year-old machine. They run between $700,000 and $800,000.
Oh, jeez.
Under the new regulations, we will need to clean the 2,500 catch basins annually. We will have to buy a new machine in order to do that. It will require additional manpower. We figure between 2 and 3 additional DPW staff, 1 driver, 2 laborers. And that's just one aspect of it. And
You have
Are
to, like,
these
sweep the
county
streets
or
twice a
state?
week.
their state, this is the DEC.
And I will tell you that, obviously, this is affecting everybody. So, I did sign a letter along with pretty much every other supervisor in Westchester, asking at least initially for more time to provide them with comments, because they basically just, we had a very short period of time, so we've asked for an extension so we can provide comments, because I think the biggest issue that everyone has is that we don't have the money or the manpower to do these very onerous requirements. So they need to make these so that either they're providing funds so that municipalities can get the necessary equipment and manpower to do all of this, or they need to lessen the obligations.
So these are just overly burdensome,
They-
unfunded
they-
mandates, and there's no
right.
attempt to do any cost-benefit analysis, no attempt to
No, and we're
discuss
still
with
under
municipalities.
2%. I mean,
Yeah.
the 2% tax cap still stands.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you know, there's only so much money that we can take and allocate for this. We're working out the numbers just so that we have an idea as to what they're talking about. But, you know, just that one task alone puts us at $1 million. And there's going to be additional costs on top of that. We did reach out, Sabrina reached out to Warren Lucas just to find out whether or not he envisioned a single comment letter coming from the group, or if each
It
municipality was
seems
doing
like
their own.
each municipality is doing their own, but we are talking about also combining those to do a group one.
Okay, only because if it turns out that we don't get an extension, I would like to at least be on the record for that March 7th deadline to make sure that we've got some comments in on it, even if it's just, you know, how are we supposed to do this? And
curious.
I
remain
have what some of
fiscally
the other
responsible.
towns have done, if you need copy, if you want
Yeah,
to see
that would
them.
be very helpful.
Not that I'm advocating for non-compliance, but what are the penalties for non-compliance?
Oh, gosh, was it $64,000 a day?
Yeah, I don't
A
think
day?
people want to speculate.
Yeah, a day, yeah, no,
What that looks
DEC
like.
is really, yeah. And I have to tell you that, you know, we have had MS4 audits before, and we have come through with flying colors. And so, you know, as a municipality that took its MS4 responsibilities very seriously, this just seems like,
It's very
yeah, no good
onerous.
deed, that's a
What's the,
perfect way to put it.
remind me, what's the timeline, theoretically, when would this?
Oh,
done?
it's over the next 5 years, and that's one of the things that we're looking at. It's, some of them are gradual implementation, other ones have to be done immediately. It also requires, a annual, I mean, I'll list all these things out for you, but this other one stuck out in my mind. An annual, inspection and also pump out of septics throughout New York City watershed, which would put the onus on our residents as well. And no, Westchester County is not stepping up as of yet to reimburse you every year for your septic, you know, pump out, where they do now once every 3 years for those of us in the Sawmill Sewer District that are on septic. And the town would be responsible for monitoring this and also enforcement of the septic, the annual septics. It's just, it's a fabulous amount of responsibility that they've thrust on us and no money to pay for it. So, you know, we're talking about administrators to take and administer the program, software so we can take and track it. It's stunning. Anyway, to be continued, but I just have to tell you about that. We just had a meeting this afternoon, and it was really, it was eye-opening. Okay, that's all I've got for the work session. I'm happy to.
Okay. All right, so can I get a motion to adjourn the work session, open the town board meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, welcome yet again to now our town board meeting of March 1st. Happy Women's History Month to all the women in town. I don't think we had any do we have any announcements, Jill? Do you have anything you'd like to announce?
No, just that we've got the Bossy Frog Band this Sunday, 2 p.m. Rick is putting on a Chappaqua Performing Arts Center. If you've got kids that are 10 and under, that seems to be the target audience. Go on our rec page and check it out this Sunday.
Yep, I've heard them before, they're great.
Yeah.
And also, as of tomorrow, masks will be optional in town hall.
Yep, recommended but not required. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna waive the supervisor's report for today. Everyone can read it tomorrow, but I do have a couple of community corners we wanted to just announce because we'd hate to not announce these birthdays. Some of them already happened, but they were all on our electronic sign. So happy birthday to Will Acocella. He turned 4 on February 16th. And so happy birthday, and they actually sent a picture of him in front of the sign, the electronic sign, and he was so happy, and it made me feel really good. So I'll send it. Did I send it to you guys?
No.
Oh, I will. It's very cute. Also, turning 6, Olivia Corollo turned 6 on February 17th. Happy birthday to Olivia. And a bigger kid, Elizabeth Tolosa, turned 13 on February 25th, just the other day, so happy birthday. And again, all of your special days were highlighted on the electronic sign by Bell School. I hope you got to see them, and I hope you all got a lot of birthday wishes. And we announced your birthday last time, too.
Thank you. Sorry I wasn't here for it.
All right, so that is it for my community corner. And anything from the administrator's report?
You know what? I'll just include it tomorrow in the.
Okay, perfect. All right, so now we'll move to public comment, new business. Anyone here who would like to make public comment? All right, Carrie, anyone online?
If anyone's interested, please raise your digital hand. I don't see anyone.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a meeting next week too, so if you have public comment, you can hold it till then. All right, so next we have a public hearing. So we are going to open a public hearing about increasing the amount of tax exemption for qualified veterans. So can I have a motion to open that public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Ed, do you want to walk us through?
Sure, so the board, let's do this. We had this on a work session agenda, I think it was 2 weeks ago. We weren't meeting last week, but, and Josh Herman, the assessor, was here to explain how the local law will align the veterans exemptions that the town recognizes with the increased maximums that the county has just rolled out. And then we talked about, Josh explained some of the formulas that are used, but essentially the idea is that the veterans, qualifying veterans, receive a tax rebate essentially, and it's really a zero-sum exercise because the exemption is then spread over the entire tax base, and the impact on everybody else is pennies, but that's the local law that you have before you.
Okay, thank you. So we have opened up the public hearing. If anyone has any comments, speak now or forever hold your peace. Carrie, anyone online? Okay. So why don't we move to close this, hold it open for a few days for written comments in case anyone can't get to us tonight, or is there a deadline on this?
So Sorry. So the reason why we actually rushed it onto the agenda this evening is because we want to be able to apply the higher rates to this upcoming town tax bill.
And
So
what's the deadline for that?
So it needs to be done by the 7th, which is why we wanted to approve it tonight. So
Okay.
I know it's not the practice of the board, but in this instance, for this particular case where we're just extending a benefit to our veterans, we're hoping that the board will feel comfortable to be able to close it tonight and approve it.
Okay,
Thank you.
so, we generally do make it a practice not to approve something on the night that we close a public hearing, but given that we have no objections to this, I'm comfortable with that, and for the reasons Jill stated. So can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Right, so then, as much as I'd like to keep you guys here longer, we can just move to our resolutions.
Excellent.
Anyone have those in front of them?
Yes. All right. Payment of claims. I move to approve the payment of claims in the amount of $363,031.49 for 2021 expenditures totaling $162,958.92 and 2022 expenditures totaling $200,072.57. Listed on the summary, pre-check writing report, and detailed voucher detail reports, all dated February 28th, 2022. Checks will be issued and mailed to each claimant listed on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Keep going, you can just do them all.
Resolution adopting a local law to amend Chapter 120, Section 2 and 5 of the Code of the Town of Newcastle to increase the amount of tax exemptions for qualifying veterans who reside in the Town of Newcastle. I move to adopt a local law to amend Chapter 120, Section 2 and 5 of the Code of the Town of Newcastle to increase the amount of tax exemptions for qualifying veterans who reside in the Town of Newcastle.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I move to authorize the hiring of Stephen Farrell to the position of laborer 0425-05 within the Department of Public Works Highway Unit at the annual salary of $48,055.31, Group 2, Step 1, effective March 21, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anything else?
Well, we have a consent agenda.
You know what, we're actually going to hold a consent agenda.
Okay,
We'll do that next week.
These are the three different.
all right.
All right, then can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night.
Okay, well,
Thank
good
you.
night, everybody.
Thank you.
Night, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's work session of February 15th. Can I have a motion to open the work session?
So moved? Okay, second?
All in favor?
Aye.